I myself, the producer of this podcast, is not eligible to diagnose anyone with a mental health disorder. This podcast is purely for artists discussing the mental health hurdles they struggle with on a daily basis. Enjoy. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Where's My Mind, a podcast about mental health in the arts. And today we're going to be talking about another topic that Freddie Maas chose to discuss. As I've said before in this podcast, broken the fourth wall in this podcast already. If you hear, we record the same day, but it will be separated out. So that's why I said welcome back, although we've really never left. But no, we were talking about negative effects someone could have, dealing with a body image within the industry. And, I think at first I was more so discussing where people think they need to be a certain amount of weight. I don't have a lot of confidence in general. I try to like build myself up, but for some reason I'm trying to work on that through therapy, to be quite honest with you, of like why I am the way I am. And I look at like TV or I look at certain things. It's like lately there's been more of a shift of like, oh, guys that look like me are leads. But for the most part, I'm always like the muscle in a movie or the goofy guy. And it kind of sometimes it kind of gets to you because it's like, man, like do they only want like 6-pack abs, or like do they want like really perfect hair, perfect skin for leads? From a guy's perspective, and women feel like, oh, you need to be like 90 pounds, 6 feet, blonde to be an actress. And I from my perspective, I just tried to cast the best person for the role. If there needs to be specific, if it's based on an Italian family, like one of my films, then yeah, I'm going to be casting most Italians,
Right. Well, you write what you know.
Exactly. So I know, was there a specific thing you wanted to discuss with this topic? What was the reason you chose it? I'd like for you to kind of like talk on that. I know you've told me off air, but I would like for you to kind of like describe as to why this topic means a lot to you, and like maybe some mental health journeys and struggles you had to go on.
Well, I think as far as the negative body image in our business, I think that years ago it was, you needed to be you had to have that chiseled jaw and that perfect, that perfect brow and the 6-pack abs and stuff. And like you said, I think more recently we're gravitating to a more realistic view of society, you know what I mean? I mean, where now you have guys like Kevin James playing the lead, where 15 years ago you did not.
No.
And I think that's wonderful. I think that it's great that that a larger segment of society, the everyday man, is represented. Yeah, do you know what I mean? As far as like and that's great for women too. Like I know a lot of women see these, this unrealistic version of these people on TV. These women that weigh fucking 90 pounds, or size 0, and all that, and all that, their clothes look so perfect on them. And if you see, a lot of times with
once again, if you guys, I don't mean to cut you off. If you do hear barking, it is just Freddie's dogs just playing around there.
Romeo and Nala.
They're funny
having a
as
free
hell.
for all here in the house.
But yeah, no. So what were you saying? I'm sorry.
But I think that it's better, to show, and more a larger segment of society to have them represented. Like I personally, like for instance, like when it comes to women, I'm not attracted to skinny girls. I like girls with meat on their bones. You know what I mean? So I like that. That oh my God, I need to lose 15 pounds. No, honey, you don't. Okay, you don't. I like it exactly. Trust me, I like it exactly to where it is. But that can be, it can really be detrimental to your health. Thinking about, I need to be the perfect. I need to be the perfect size for this, or I'm not going to get any leads if I don't have, if I don't have 6-pack abs, or if I have to starve myself so I can fucking. I can, play that part. Yeah. I mean, a lot of times, if you see actors like people, A-list actors in real life, a lot of them are a lot smaller than you think they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you see guys, oh, look at that guy. He's all ripped. He looks huge. And then you see him in real life. He's 165 pounds.
Like, wait, what?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, wow, camera really does add weight to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wow, I totally thought you'd be bigger. Kind of like Dalton. Like Dalton in Roadhouse. Yeah. Oh, I thought you'd be bigger.
Well, yeah, I think, yeah, height wise, definitely. Yeah, people's, I guess, presence is larger than life, but you see kind of like the what people think they're supposed to be, right? And then there's, you know, whenever time you see a character in a movie or a TV show and they're like, "Oh, I'm so overweight," and I'm just like looking around and I'm like, what are they talking about? They don't look overweight,
Yeah.
Like if you're technically overweight for your height, then maybe like there's technical, but you don't look overweight. But they think like that. There's this movie called The Duff, the designated ugly fat friend. I don't know if you saw it,
No.
and the girl playing it is not ugly nor fat.
Right.
But just because I guess she has puffy cheeks, she's the big girl. I'm
Oh
like, what
yeah.
is going
That's
on
ridiculous.
here? Like, it's so weird. It's just so it's weird to make a movie based on like literally you have ugly and fat in the title.
Yeah.
Or
who wants to get cast in that? Well, they're looking for a real ugly fat person. Yeah, I'm gonna go out and read for that part.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and it's worse when you get it. You're like, yes, I was the ugliest, fattest one.
I was the ugly. Yeah,
yes,
I was the most ugliest and fattest out of them all. But it's kind of like, I don't know. It's just, I think there's certain things in movies and art and theater that kind of like, I don't know, if I'm not what you're looking for because I'm too big, then are you really gonna? Is my weight really going to factor if I'm a good actor or not?
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying, like that, or is my image going to be a big factor? And then it's kind of like, I don't, I'm kind of baffled by it sometimes, and in your, you mentioned that you are a stage 4 cancer survivor.
Mm-hmm.
So would you mind if it's not too personal, like talking about it and seeing how
Sure.
like the effects were like with acting and all that?
Sure. Well, I about 12 years ago, I was driving home from work, and I looked in my rearview mirror and I saw a lump in my neck, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" I thought something bit me. So I came home and I said to my wife, I said, "Oh man, I think something bit me today." She goes, "Oh, you better take a Benadryl." So I take a Benadryl and I wake up the next day and the lump is still there, right? So she goes, "You better go to the doctor." So I go to the doctor, and I go to my regular. I shouldn't say my regular doctor wasn't in, so I saw a doctor I'd never seen before at the general physician, and he looks at my neck and he goes, "Oh, I don't know what the hell that is." You don't know what the hell that is? Fucking make something up.
Don't you get paid?
Yeah,
to know what
don't
that
you
is?
get paid? No, make something. Make me feel better. Don't go. Oh shit, I don't know what the hell that is. That didn't make me feel very good. But anyway, he told me I needed to go to an ear, nose, and throat doctor. So I go to an ear, nose, and throat doctor. Doctor says to me, "All right, I got to do a biopsy. On your neck. If it's a liquid, that's a good sign.
Okay.
If it's a solid, that's a bad sign." And he goes, "We're going to take a biopsy. We're going to send it out, and you'll know in a week." I go, "Okay."
And in that week, how was the lump?
It had actually gotten bigger after he stuck the needle in it to take the biopsy.
Oh man.
Okay, so he said, "We're going to let you know in a week." So he sticks the needle in to take the biopsy, and he goes, I go, "Well, what does that mean?" And he goes, "Well, it's not really a liquid, and it's not really a solid. It's kind of like a goo." I go, "Well, what the hell does that mean?" And he goes, "Well, it means that your lymph nodes are probably dying." And I go, "What the hell causes that?" And he goes, "Well, some viruses can and some cancers, but let's not think the worst right away. Let's not think the worst right away. You just fucking told me that it could possibly, what do you think I'm going to think?" Right? So right away I go, "Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, no."
Yeah.
Right? But then, my wife tells me I got to be more positive and everything. And you're right. So I said, "Well, maybe it's not. I got a week to wait. I'll try not to stress myself out for a week."
Yeah.
They literally call me the next day and tell me that you have, quote, suspicious cells and you need to go to Columbia Presbyterian Hospital in Manhattan. And he said, "You have suspicious cells like 3 or 4 times, right?" So I said, you keep saying suspicious cells. Do I or do I not have cancer?" And he goes, "Well, I'd say it's a 50-50 chance." I go, 50-50 chance. Holy shit. So now again, I got it. I know I got it. I've convinced myself that I have it, right? Because I know there's no way I don't, right? Because that's just, I used to make a joke when I was younger and say, if it was raining pussy, I'd get hit in the head with a dick. You know? I'm like, that's the kind of fucking luck I got, right? So I go home and I tell my wife, I go, we got to go to Columbia Hospital. What do you mean we got to go to Columbia Hospital? I said, yeah, we got to go to Columbia Hospital, blah, blah.
Is this recent?
This was 12 years ago.
12 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I have to go for x-rays. I have to go for all this bullshit in a very short amount of time, right? So like I literally, now mind you, my doctor that did the biopsy called ahead of time and made me an appointment at Columbia Hospital, made sure they took my insurance. He did all of this shit for me.
Wow.
So he knew I needed to just get
in
right?
there and do all that. Yeah.
So I go and I go to Columbia Presbyterian and I meet Dr. Sal Caruana, who is the greatest man I have ever met in my life. He is the reason I'm here today. And tells me to sit down, and he goes over my reports and he looks at my x-rays and all this kind of stuff. And he says to me, okay, sit down. I sit down, my wife puts her hands on my shoulders. She's standing behind me and he goes, can I tell you that I am 100% positive that you have cancer? No, I can't. Do I think you have cancer? Yes, I do. Everything I see here, and he's pointing to my x-ray and my paperwork, everything I see here, and everything I know here, pointing to his head. He goes, tells me that you do. And you need to get this taken care of. He goes, but I'm a doctor. I'm not a salesman. So if you'd like to go get a second opinion, I'm more than okay with that, and I'll forward your paperwork wherever you want to go. And I go, wait a minute. I'm at Columbia Presbyterian Hospital in Manhattan. What am I going to do, drive up to fucking Newton and ask them what the fuck they think? No. Let's get it out. Can we do it today? And he goes, no, we can't do it today. He goes, but we can do it in a week or 2 weeks, whatever it was, right? So anyway, my wife starts crying, of course. And
I guess when you discovered the lump, were you like, where did your mind go right there? Did you think it was cancer?
I did not think cancer right away. I did not. I thought it was maybe anything but cancer, I guess. You know what I mean? And after we do the he tells us, I said, well, let's get it the fuck out, you know. And we make the appointment for me to have my surgery. My wife is in the hallway and she's crying, and a nurse comes up to my wife and puts her hand on my wife, and she goes, honey, you are in the best hospital in the world with the best doctor. And Sal Caruana actually is the head of oncology, head and neck oncology at the hospital. So he was going to be my surgeon and my doctor, right? So she goes, you are at the best hospital with the best doctor. You're in fantastic hands, right? So, of course, after I got the official diagnosis that I did have cancer, I had a pity party for myself, of course, because right away, when you think of cancer, you think you're going to die. Well, you think anybody's going to die. I mean, you hear, hey, he's got cancer, he's fucking dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So of course I had a pity party for myself, and I was devastated, but Chris, this is the God's honest truth. One day, I gave myself to be sad.
Yeah.
And then after that, I thought about at the time, my son was 5.
Yeah.
And everybody laughs when I say this, but I swear to God, it's the God's honest truth. After that one day being sad, I said to myself, okay, well, you're not going to die because A, your son is 5, and he's not going to think about when you're 5. You don't remember anything.
No.
So if I would have died when my son was 5, he wouldn't even remember me.
Yeah.
Okay. So I go, A, you're not going to die because your kid is 5. And B, your wife is still hot and ain't nobody else fucking her. Okay. I know that sounds funny, and everybody laughs, but I swear to God,
personality. That's your personality. That's you. That
was a motivating factor. Nobody is fucking her but me. Okay. So
I love that.
So I wish she was here so you could see her. Chris, I am blessed way more than I deserve. She is way too fucking hot for me. Okay. I don't know what the fuck she's doing with me. But so I go and I just say, I'm not gonna let this fucking get me, So my wife is so incredibly supportive, and she would we watch funny movies, and I just always try to keep my spirits uplifted, and then finally time comes around for my surgery, I go in for my surgery. Surgery is 8 hours. Okay. I'm in an 8-hour surgery. I have a radical neck dissection. They cut out my tonsils, part of my tongue, uh, I think 36 lymph nodes, the tumor, everything. Okay. I'm a fucking wreck.
Wow.
Okay. So now I come out of my surgery, and I'm in my room. It's fucking terrible. The air conditioning in my room was broken. Okay. So
Let me guess, and you probably had surgery in the summer.
I did. It was August 18th.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm fucking sweating this. So
Yeah.
I'm miserable. I got
Like you
swamp
said,
ass on top of a fucking bad neck. I got
if it's
fucking
raining-
swamp ass.
It was raining pussy. You're getting
Right?
hit with a dick.
I'm
Yeah,
telling you, bro.
that analogy it's living up to the hype now.
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, the air conditioning, of course it's fucking broken. Of course it's broken.
And
you know?
on the news, you're like, yes, today is the record hot, the
hottest
hottest
the hottest day in August. Yeah. And
And
so
you're sitting there sweating your ass
oh, it's
off.
fucking terrible. So now I have I'm in the hospital for 3 days. I get out of the hospital, and I have 7 weeks of recovery. Okay, but now all this caused so many problems. I mean, it you know they cut this big chunk of my neck out, so it made my trap muscle collapsed, and my mouth twisted like I had a stroke, and I had limited use of an arm and shit, you know. So I'm like, oh, I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I'm like, I'm fucking never going to be the
Who
same.
am I? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Who am I? I'm never going to be the same. So anyway, 7 weeks go by, right? And I'm slowly getting better, very slowly.
Yeah.
I'm getting better. I'm on tons and tons of pain meds and everything. You know, Percocet coming out of my ass. Dude, I literally had so many Percocets in me. And I go to see the doctor. I go see, you know, and he goes, okay, well, now it's time for your radiation treatments. 7 weeks later.
Mm-hmm.
So now I go see my my kid must be
Oh,
here.
we'll take a break.
Yeah, my kid must be here.
Cool.
I'm sorry, I'm going off about
Don't.
on this because we're off the acting thing at this moment. I'm sorry.
I know, but I will tie it in.
Okay.
If that's cool with you. I want to
yeah,
hear
of
your
course.
story. I really do. Your phone keeps vibrating, I think.
It's probably
Is it him? Okay.
yeah, Life 360.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And my mother commenting on my photo. My mother always tells me how fucking nuts I am. Today's post was
What's up, man? How are you? Good.
Don't, oh, you remember Chris, right?
What's up, man?
I know.
Good seeing you again.
Good to see you.
Hi, dude. How are you?
Good.
Good. Yeah, this was my post today. Don't get in my car expecting to hear love songs. We sell drugs and fuck hoes in here. And my mother's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, no, so yeah, you said you went to the
yes,
you
I
went
went to
back
the-
for a second
Right.
or a checkup, I guess, right?
Well, you have to constantly go. You
Yeah.
know? So I left there and it was time to go for, I start doing my radiation treatments. So I go to see a different doctor for the radiation. I go to John Thurr Cancer Center in Hackensack. And the doctor says to me, how do you feel? And I go, oh, I feel pretty good considering.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, well, I'm about to change that. He goes, you have to have 7 weeks of daily radiation. Daily. Okay. So
Wait, like Monday through Friday?
Monday through Friday. Yes. For 7 weeks.
And you had to go into the city.
No, I had to go to Hackensack for that. I didn't have to go to the
Okay.
city for that. I had to go to
Alright.
Hackensack for that. So I had to go.
And I'm assuming you weren't working at this.
No,
point.
I was out of work for almost a year.
Were you able to collect unemployment or anything?
Yeah,
or-
I was on
Or
disability.
disability?
I was on disability.
Yeah, my stepdad was on disability for a few months right after his stroke, and yeah, it's that whole process is ridiculous.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible.
So yeah, so yeah, you had to do radiation 7 weeks
Right.
daily.
So I go for 7 weeks of daily radiation.
How long were the sessions?
They were only about 20 minutes, but you would go in at first and you would get an X-ray done, or CAT scan. I'd rather they do a CAT scan on it to see if there's any change in the growth,
Yeah.
and then if that was okay, then they would give you your radiation treatment. So you had to have 2 things each time you went.
How long was it? You said a day. Like how long was it a day? Would you say? Like,
20 minutes a day.
Like all of that was just 20 minutes. A
Oh
day?
yeah, all that would just.
Oh, okay, okay, all right.
But it was every day. You know.
No, it's every day. It's and probably driving there and back.
Right,
You
and
wanna
then driving
accumulate,
there
it's
and
like an
back.
hour,
Right,
and
an
then
hour
you're
there,
probably
an hour
fucking
back, and-
fried after
right, and
doing
then-
all that mentally, physically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now, but prior to going for my first treatment,
Mm-hmm.
you have to have a mask made to it's a cancer mask that actually goes over your face, and there's 1 millimeter of movement between your face and the mask. So it almost looks like a Spider-Man mask. And it's molded to your face, your lips and everything. What they do is they take this hot plastic and they lay you down and they stretch this hot plastic over your face and hold it till it hardens. So it's the shape of your face.
How the fuck are you breathing?
It's mesh.
Okay.
It's
all
mesh.
right.
And then you have to wear that mask every time you go get your radiation because they literally bolt your head down so you can't move.
Jesus
Okay?
Christ.
So they bolt your head down. You have to put this mask on every time. And then you go for and they tattoo you. I have tattoos on my chest where they literally tattoo you so that they know where to line the lasers up every time you lay down. Okay. So I go and I get my tattoos done. I get my mask done and I go for my treatments. And as the treatments are going on, I'm losing weight.
Yeah.
Because the radiation starts to affect your neck because that's where my surgery was. So it actually starts changing everything. Now my salivary glands are dying. Okay. I stopped making saliva. Your taste buds die. All these things happen while you're getting your radiation. So you have to go to the dentist before any of this happens so they can make fluoride trays for you to put in your mouth while you're getting your treatments so that your teeth don't rot out of your mouth because you have no saliva to keep your teeth lubricated to keep them from rotting, okay? There's so much more involved than people
I
really
didn't know
realize,
that. Yeah.
right? So now I have these fluoride things I got to put in my fucking mouth and I got to put this fucking mask on. I got to go for these fucking treatments. So now I start losing weight and because my throat literally starts closing from the radiation treatments. So my saliva, it sounds gross, but my saliva starts turning to a gel and then it goes from a gel to almost like plastic where I could literally reach in my mouth and pull it out and put it on the table. My saliva would just coagulate.
Jesus.
And because everything was dying.
Yeah.
You know? And it's getting worse and worse and I'm losing more and more weight. And the doctor says, listen, I went from eating normal food to eating ice cream, that kind of shit, and pudding. And then from there to a liquid diet. And then it got to the point where I couldn't take liquids in anymore because my throat was literally like a pinhole. So
you couldn't talk, obviously. Then,
I could talk.
You could?
I could talk, yeah. My voice has changed since I was sick. You can't tell, but my voice used to be deeper before I got sick. And the doctor was like, listen, you're losing too much weight. You're going to have a feeding tube. And I'm like, I'm not fucking getting a feeding tube. But that's not fucking happening. You know, I'm gonna make sure I fucking drink this shit.
Yeah.
And I couldn't. So I had to go for a feeding tube. Okay. So back into the hospital again, I go. And I get a feeding tube. Now back when I'm talking about it fucking raining pussy in the dick. Right?
Yeah.
So now I get out of my surgery for the feeding tube. They don't have a room for me. Okay. So now I'm in the hallway while they're waiting to get me a room. I'm fucking out of it with the tubes.
Yeah.
They get a room for me with an old man named Sal. Sal's about 90 and he has dementia. And Sal is sitting in his fucking chair out of his bed and he's blocking the fucking door and he won't let them bring me into the room. And he goes, this room's crowded already. There's nobody in there but Sal.
Yeah.
Room's crowded already. And they're like, now they're the orderlies and the doctors and the nurses, whatever, they're trying to reason with Sal.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, Mr. So-and-so, you need to, can you just move aside? We need to let this gentleman's got occupied the other bed, just had surgery, all this kind of shit. And I'm not moving, he says. I'm not moving. So now I'm getting fucking mad. Now I'm yelling from my bed. You fucking move! I'm telling them, right? So...
And did you know he had dementia right off the bat? Okay, you just thought he was being a fucking... Yeah.
So now, but I got to be honest with you. Even after I found out he had dementia, I could care less.
Yeah, he was still... Yeah.
He was a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
and
I'm
I was
sure.
in the right frame of mind, So I go, I'm walking in there because they want to wheel me in with the bed and he wouldn't move. So I said, I'm walking in. I start getting out of the bed and they're like, no, sit down. I'm like, I'm walking in. So they actually let me stand up. And I got like the bottle and shit. They let me bring it into the room when I walk past. And I'm giving them a fucking hairy eyeball the whole time I'm walking past them, right?
After being in surgery again,
After being in surgery again, right? So now I'm laying in the bed. And he starts in again. And he's making all these noises. Now he starts binging his bing, 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 bing. He's calling fucking nurses in. He's telling the nurses that these people, my family, these people are eating crackers. Nobody had no fucking crackers. these people are eating crackers. I can smell them like this. And I'm like, shut up, Sal. Nobody got no fucking crackers. Now I'm yelling. So anyway, I'm bing, bing, bing the nurse right, with the fucking button. You got to get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I said, I know you just got me in here. You got to get me
You have
the
to
fuck
get
out
me
of here.
out.
I
Yeah.
can't do, I'm not, this, me and Sal's not going to work out.
Yeah.
You know? Now I'm ready. Like I said, I took this feeding tube as a personal defeat. Okay. Because I didn't want to have it done. I felt, you know, my body's crashing around me, you know, and this is the last thing I need is to be this obstinate old man giving me a problem.
Yeah.
You know? So you got to get me out of here. I'm saying to the nurses, and the nurses like, they're like, well, we're working on it. We're working on it. So, and we make a long story short, Sal keeps yelling, and Sal keeps being more and more of a pain in the ass. So, bing, 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 bing. I call the nurse again, right? Swear to God, dude. I call the nurse. I go, listen, you got to get me out of here, or I'm going to choke this old motherfucker with this feeding tube. I swear to God, I'll go behind him. I'll put it around his fucking neck, and I'll wring his fucking neck right there in the fucking chair. I'm like, sir, you can't do that. You can't. We're working on it. We're working on it. Okay.
We're working on it.
Swear to God, dude. I'm telling him I'm going to wring his fucking
great.
neck. So now I got to take a piss.
Yeah.
So they give you the bedpans. I can't pee in a bedpan. I just can't fucking do it.
Yeah.
Right. I tried. I can't.
I've never been there.
It's
So
too
yeah,
hard,
I'm imagining
it's too hard. So now I'm going to pee. But now Sal is sitting in his fucking chair blocking the fucking bathroom door. Okay.
He's testing you.
So
man.
I go, Sal, you got to fucking move. And he's just staring at me. Like, Sal,
move.
you got to get in the bathroom. You know, still fucking staring at me. So I grab his fucking chair, right? And I fucking slam it into the fucking wall. And he's, boom, he's fucking shaking like he got hit by a terrible thing I'm doing. But I couldn't take it no more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, make a long story short, they ended up sending me home the next day.
Okay.
So I come home and then I had a feeding tube for 3 months. Okay, so I got a feeding tube. I have the.
Did they have to show your wife how to do, or did you have a nurse come in?
No, I did it all myself.
Oh, you did.
They showed me how
yourself.
to care for it. Yeah. So I had a feeding tube for 3 months, and you just think you're never going to get better, and then as long as you stay positive and you slowly things start coming back around again, right? Things start getting better, and then
was acting on your mind at all, or like being artistic or a creative outlet? Was any of that on your mind?
It was, because my show was still going on in the city at the time.
Yeah.
And a guy that played another Johnny, not Johnny Marola that owns the show.
Yeah.
There was a third
Another
Johnny named
understudy,
Lou, and Lou and I never really saw eye to eye,
Really?
Yeah, and Lou was playing my part when I wasn't there. And anyway, I'm slowly getting better, and I'm thinking about now it's getting ready time to go back to the city, go back to my show, but now I have to get my feeding tube taken out. So now you don't get a surgery for that. You just go to the doctor's office and they just pull it out. Okay, so anyway, I said to my wife, I go, you and Dante got to come into the room with me when I get this taken out, because I'm not going to be a fucking pussy with you and Dante standing there. I'm going to take it like a fucking man, So they come into the room with me. They're not looking, but they're going to. So the guy lays me down on a table. He's a little guy, the doctor. He stands on like a fucking apple box. Okay? He stands on an apple box. He throws his fucking tie over his shoulder. He literally wraps his hand around my feeding tube, and he yanks it like he's starting a fucking lawnmower, dude. Boom! It pulls it out. That's how they take it out, right? And I'm like, now mind you, I took a Xanax before I even went there, because I was like, I got.
Yeah, you gotta not feel this shit.
So he pulls it out. I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck? Is it out? Is it out? And thank God it was out.
Yeah.
And then I said, now I got a hole. I go, what do I do with this hole? And he goes,
are they just like,
dude, no, Chris, I swear to God, he takes Neosporin. He goes, squeezes Neosporin in a hole, puts a patch on top of it, and he goes, don't take that off for 2 weeks. It'll close itself. And I go, what if it doesn't close itself? Well, come back, we'll burn it shut with silver nitrate. I go, holy shit.
none of this is sounding appealing.
No.
Yeah, obviously.
So anyway, make a long story short, they it closed. It closed.
Good.
And
how was eating after that? Like, was it weird? Like,
you know what, dude? I had,
or what were some effects that, like, obviously post chemo and all that.
Things
radiation.
still don't taste the same. I used to love ice cream.
Yeah.
I hate ice cream now.
Oh, because you had to have it so much.
No,
or?
it just doesn't taste the same anymore. the flavor, just nothing is as strong as it used to be.
Yeah.
You know, I started putting hot sauce on a lot of things when I couldn't taste stuff to try to make it taste like something.
To let it come
and now
out.
to this day, I put hot sauce on
On
everything,
everything,
now because I love it. But
I saw you put it in your coffee.
yeah, one of the first things I ate, I remember, not one of the very first thing I ate when I could eat solid food was my wife's macaroni and cheese. And actually, my wife has a video of me eating solid food for the first time in a year, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful. And I had Thanksgiving right before having my feeding tube out, and I told everybody this is the greatest Thanksgiving of my life because I'm still here. Unfortunately, I'm eating out of a fucking tube. Everybody else is having turkey and fucking. I thought about fucking sticking it in a blender and shoving it down the fucking tube. But yeah. Shove it in there.
Stuffing, yeah.
Shove it in there.
But no, that's you know, and I think it's important to hear all of that because we're talking about negative body image as an actor. You know, you know, prior to this, you were acting for how many years before you got diagnosed? 10 years, 12 years?
No, 10 years. 10 years. I started acting in 99.
So you're a decade into it. You're about 8-9 years into your show,
mm-hmm.
and then you get hit with this, and then that's a year to recover. And like you said, you're looking in the mirror. You don't.
Right.
Excuse me. You're looking in the mirror. You're hearing yourself speak. You know, you're saying your voice was deeper. You don't look the same. All that. So, what was the first project you did post, like recovering, and then how, for your confidence or anything like that? Like, did anything lack there? Did you?
Oh yeah.
Did you really
terrible.
like look at yourself and like, what the fuck? Where's Freddie?
Oh yeah. I felt terrible, and I went back to my show in the city. And the woman
did people treat you differently, or like a kid almost?
Almost like some people treated me with kid gloves. I guess I'd say they were like like I was fragile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
which is you're anything but because you fucking beat cancer.
Yeah,
like that's not for the faint of heart. That's
right.
not for the fragile.
No.
So,
and I went back, and the girl that played my wife, her name is Lisa Lamacchia. I fucking love her to death. She's not only beautiful, but she is really
just
a genuinely great fucking person.
Yeah.
You know?
And you develop those. I don't even want to say feelings, but you do develop something when you're playing a character like with someone.
Excuse me 1 second, Dante. Could you take Romeo out? Thank you. He just ran out. He ran down the steps, and you don't give you any warning.
I didn't hear. Okay, yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
And
look at him.
Yeah, he runs down the steps. You don't get no warning, and then he'll just piss on my fucking
floor.
Oh,
really? Yeah.
He makes no noise like a ninja.
So you
create that bond with these people, right? And I mean,
and how was she like after the?
Oh, Lisa was the fucking best. She was so understanding and helpful to me when she came back because I she played my wife for a long time, and she knew a lot of my insecurities and a lot of personal aspects of my life, and she was when I came back. She was right there to help me hit the ground running, you know what I mean? And it was like with her, it was like I never left.
What kind of inspiration did you pull from going through having cancer? Like I feel like it's a lot of alone time, right? You got a lot of alone time or so is there anything like you like to add to your craft? Like, is there anything that like you look back on and you can use it as inspiration?
Well, I read, because I was, laid up, I couldn't perform or anything.
Yeah.
I read a lot of books about acting. I did watched a lot of videos about acting.
Yeah.
Anything I could just to try to keep my feet wet, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I'm so sorry about that.
I don't care. I really don't care.
That's because Dante probably putting the leash on him.
Yeah. Oh, he doesn't like the leash.
No, he's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
A pain in the ass. But I told you before, if he was my first one, he'd be my last one. He's the first dog I ever had that he growls to talk. Like the other would growl when they were angry.
Yeah. But if you're just like, don't do that, they're like, oh, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how my dog.
He'll be sitting next to you on the couch like, rah, just because he wants you to fucking pet him.
Yeah. That's funny.
That was very confusing for me.
Yeah.
But So
I'm assuming it's a very dark place to be.
It's just 100%.
So, I guess what I'm trying to ask is like, have you pulled from like, if you have to dig deep for a character or a role?
Have I ever pulled from that pain?
Yeah,
so to
because I
speak?
feel like that's, and I don't want to assume, you can confirm or deny, or we don't have to talk about it. I'm assuming how I would be is if I'm going to allow myself to be sad one day, or there will be moments where I just break down and cry. I've done that with my stepdad, you know, because it goes a little bit, you know, him and I have always had an interesting relationship, and we've finally started getting good. And then now, you know, his stroke has lost his ability to talk and really move and be active. And it's like, man, like it's like you knowing the funniest person you may know, or like someone who likes to talk and all that, and that's taken away
gone.
from them right now. So were you able to pull something from it, like whether, you know, I need some inspiration to cry, to do X, Y, and Z, like, you know, did you pull from it, or is it too much of a dark place to really pull from?
No, I honestly did use it
Yeah.
to pull from when I needed to go to that place, you
Yeah.
know, for something. You know, I try to remember, you know, you bring back the sadness that you felt, or the loneliness, or the you know,
Uncertainty of
the
things.
uncertainty of everything. Yeah. And then I pulled from that for a long time, and unfortunately, I had a tragedy in my life where my brother passed away, and
sorry.
I've since used that as my place to pull my sadness from. But prior to that, yes, it was definitely was my cancer. You know, I mean,
was art or acting even on like a thought in your mind, or was it just because I feel like when you're in something like that, like there's nothing else but that?
Okay, I didn't. When you're in the throes of feeling so horrible and throwing up and I sleep all day, and when you're in the midst of everything, I can't say I thought anything about acting or anything, no, being creative, none of that. I didn't think about anything, and I'm the horniest motherfucker going. I didn't even think about sex. Okay, but then once you start feeling better, you start
thinking
about, man, you know, like, man, I miss that.
Your brain starts clearing up.
Yeah, I miss that show. You know what I mean? I mean, I miss hearing everybody laughing. I miss hearing the applause. I miss, I miss all those things, and then, and like I said, once that you start feeling better, those things start coming back. And then, then I start, then I start looking at my wife going, As a matter of fact, one time I'm completely fucked up, dude. I'm defeating tube sticking out of me. I'm a fucking mess, right? But the old Freddie
is there. Right? It's still there. Yep.
And she's like walking, she was going to get in the shower or something, right? And I'm like, I'm like, why don't you come over here? She's like, absolutely fucking not. And I'm like, come on. And she goes, no way, I'm not fucking doing it. No way. I'll fucking kill you. No way. You're gonna have a fucking heart attack or something. Not happening. Right. So anyway, I'm fucking working her. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, come on.
It's been a long time. I'm fucked up. So anyway, she agrees to fucking throw me a mercy screw, right? Because I'm so fucked up. So anyway, we have sex, and I can't catch my breath. I'm like, okay. Now, because my throat was so fucked up, and I'm like, now I sound like I'm fucking dying, okay?
I don't mean to laugh.
No, dude, it's funny, dude. It was funny. So she springs off the fucking bed. She goes, I'm never fucking doing that again. That's it. She thought she was going to call an ambulance on me and shit.
Oh, my God. That's a funny scene right there, too.
It is, right? That's a funny
Something
one.
like that.
Yeah.
That's funny, though. But it's also like, I know we're laughing, but it's like, man, you can look back at that and like, that was a moment where it's like, it kind of took you probably away for a bit from like what you're going through.
It did. It really did.
Now you can reflect on it, and that's something you and your wife can laugh at, and that's a little story you guys
I try to find humor in everything, because if
that's important.
It's really important.
If you don't, like, you can get stuck in this cycle of just endless depression, and that's not good. Like, that's really not good. Like you need to allow yourself to enjoy something,
right?
Like anything. If you are going through shit, like if you really are going through shit, even if it's like sitting down and eating, guilty pleasure food and watching something, if that makes you kind of forget for about an hour or two, then do that.
I agree.
You have to do that.
I've told my kid and my wife, said, when I die, my tombstone, first of all, better say something fucking funny.
Yeah.
Because I want people to come and visit me and go, fucking Freddie.
This is Freddie.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'd be
yeah.
like, what truck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or, I didn't know the fruit was bad or something.
Yeah.
So put something. And Dante made a joke. He said he's going to hire clowns to make fucking balloon animals and shit at my fucking funeral. But, I said, I'm going to write my own eulogy.
Yeah.
Because everybody's going to be fucking sad and shit. If I write it, at least I know people will laugh.
Now, who would you have read it?
It's funny. Somebody else asked me that same question.
Would it be your son, your wife, a friend, like one of your best friends?
I would like to have my son read it for me, but I think he would have
a hard time
doing it. But I would like to have him read it for me, or my wife.
Because I feel like who knows you better? Like I said, I'm about to have a kid, so I don't know who knows you better than your kid.
No,
but
nobody.
I feel like your best friends know you too.
Yeah, my brother John. I think I would have him read my eulogy.
He knows you.
He knows me.
And you guys are probably coming from the same cloth, the funny cloth. Yeah.
So I know he'll have some great stories he'll let out and everything. But yeah, as far as so anyway, to tie this back to the acting thing, I played a lot of tough guys and a lot of I make a big joke. I'm the typecast problem child. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm always a drug addict. I'm always a fucking some type of enforcer. I'm always fucking beating somebody up.
Like that lady said in the previous episode, you're a garbage man. You're this,
right,
that.
Right.
You're
I'm the
blue
collar guy. I am. I guess
collar.
because I am a blue collar guy in real life, you don't know better than.
Yeah. Then I guess that's what you portray or come off. But I would never. I don't know. Like I said, when I met you, man, you're like, you're doing your accent, your look, your fucking finger pointing. Then we have a moment to talk. You're like, I've been in theater 29 years, and I did this, and I'm like, you got to really try. Like, you seemed like I'm like, oh, this motherfucker's an actor. Yeah. He's not just doing it like for fun. Like, he's a fucking actor.
Yeah,
so
thank you.
I guess you looks wise, you come off blue collar, but I feel like I don't know if thespian would be the right word, but you are so knee deep in it. You know a lot of shit. You've studied the craft like. You're an actor through and through.
Oh,
and I know some people look at you and they're probably like, fuck out of here. He's an actor.
Oh, yeah.
He's got tattoos. He's got a foul mouth, blah, blah. No,
Yeah.
who gives a fuck how people look? That, goes back to that. So you were saying, I don't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no, it's okay.
But you were saying that you play a lot of these
Yeah, I play
roles.
a lot of these roles, and then once you're, you
go through something physical.
You go through something physical like
traumatic
that.
like that, yeah.
I don't feel like that tough guy anymore. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I don't feel like I can. I'm very conscious of angles. Do you know what I mean? Because I have the surgery on one side of my head and not on the other. One side of my face looks chiseled, and the other side doesn't. So it's like I try to. And if my head looks crooked on my body, so I try to position myself for certain things.
You're a lot more self-conscious.
Oh, I'm a lot more self-conscious of it than
anyone else.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And then I'll say things to my wife. I'll go, look at that. I fuck terrible. I'm like, you do not. She said, nobody sees that. You're looking for it. And I guess I am looking for it.
But even if someone saw it, it's a distinct look, though.
I guess.
That's how you could spin it, or that's how you'd say it. But if we all look the same, what I know it sounds stupid, like what's the fun in that? If I watch a movie or film and everyone looks exactly the same, I was like, there's really, this casting is pretty garbage. I
understand
saying?
that. I guess,
but I think you're were you self-conscious prior to having cancer, or were you kind of like, I'm here, I own this shit kind of thing?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
I make a big joke, and my wife and my kid know it's true. I usually only watch everything I do one time, and it's only to see how bad I look. Do I look fucking fat in that? You know what I mean? It's a big joke, but I'll watch something and I'll
you don't go back and watch.
No, I don't watch it again. Yeah, because I'm the most critical of my own performance. You know what I mean? And I'll oh my god.
So you don't go, you wouldn't go back to watch something and oh, that point in my life, I made that, I did that. You watch to go how much I've grown. You don't really do that.
You know what? I'd love to lie to you and say yes, I do, but no, I really haven't.
Yeah. I feel weird because I go back and I look at some stuff that I've done and I'm like, I know what film I did that shifted that made me a better actor.
Oh,
I go back and I rewatch it because it was so physically mentally grueling on the process of what I did to make that, because the director pushed me to broke me down, really broke me down on set, and I was like, fuck. But you go back and you look, I was like, my wife will be like, that's your best performance. No dog to anything else, but these two specific directors get the best out of me. And I've only worked on one project with the director, and the other project I've worked with her on like 3 or 4, and it's mainly comedies, and she gets the best out of me. So I go back and look just to see. But you go back once to be critical of yourself.
Yeah, to be critical of myself. Yeah.
But is it ever acting critical, or is it physical?
It's more physical than anything else. 'Cause I look at it and I'll go, why the fuck didn't I suck my stomach in for that?
Probably, but you probably subconsciously or not, you probably like, I already know I did fucking great acting wise. But now, really?
No, I'm never like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there's certain roles where I'm like, I killed it, and there's certain roles like I could have done better. But I'm like that too. Like physically, I'm like, man, I fucking gained weight, or man, I really look big on camera. Fuck, do I look like this big in real life? That's how I feel
too. Like, yeah. I look at it and I'll go, oh my God, why didn't I suck my stomach in there?
Yeah, or like,
oh my God, I missed a belt loop on my fucking pants. Yeah. Shit like that. I'm like, why the fuck? Why didn't somebody tell me?
I'm like, and how come no one told me my hair looks like shit?
Yeah.
Like I have a very curly, the longer it gets curly, it's wild. To me, it looks normal, but I'm on camera. I'm like, Jesus Christ, it looks like I don't own a comb.
Okay, funny you're saying that. I saw some behind the scenes shots of Dress Code.
Yeah.
Okay. Where one side of my hair looks puffier than the other one, and it's making me fucking crazy. I said, why didn't somebody fucking tell me that? I got a puffy side of my head. And my wife is like, no one even sees that. But I see it. It makes me crazy.
Andrew showed me some of my scenes because I was like, can I get some for my acting reel and wait for Gerard for it to be released? And it's the scene we're all out in the yard, and it was windy, and I'm telling a joke, and my hair's going everywhere, and all I'm fixated on is like my hair looking like fucking a mixture of Ace Ventura and Kramer. I'm like, and then I shaved my beard, I got the extra chins. I'm like, oh my God, I look terrible. And then I'll say that to my wife, and she'll be like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Just shut up. Like,
yeah, we're always the most critical of our own self.
Yeah.
That's the truth, really.
Yeah. So I guess, you post cancer, you were going into these roles and you weren't feeling confident, right? So was it Dominic Russo, or did you do another role where you had to play a quote unquote tough guy? And how was the challenges of kind of getting back to that mentality of like the characters you always used to play, but with the lack of confidence?
Wow. Geez, that's a really great question.
Because you had a lot of confidence on set when I saw you, with just like, you just kind of like, how do I say it? Because I'm a sponge when I'm on set, and even if I'm like background or whatever, and you just kind of see like you just seem to be kind of in command of every scene you were in, like, or you were commanding, like you just brought a presence, and so it's hard for me to look at you and be like, this guy, he lacked confidence, like what the fuck? So like, how long did it take to build it back up?
Well, or
are you still building it back up, so to speak?
No, I'm still building it back up, I guess. It's been 12 years since my cancer diagnosis, so I've done a lot of things in that 12 years. So it's,
more film, more theater. Or equal balance?
I've done both. I had a movie that was just recently on Amazon Prime for a while. It was called Abandoned in the Dark, and I played this psychopathic cop named Arnold McHale, and that was a great role because it was it was fun to be a good guy.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say a good guy. I was still a bad guy, but fun to be a cop because usually I'm the guy getting arrested.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But theater, I prefer theater over film myself because I like the instant gratification of it, and I started really developing my craft as a theater actor more than a film actor. But to actually put my finger on what role started turning me around, man.
Or was it a time, like a period of time? It doesn't have to be a specific role, but like, was it like a year or two after? Was it 4 or 5 years after where you were like, this, I'm back to being Freddie?
You know what, Chris, I don't think I'm ever going to really be back to the Freddie that started. You know what I mean? Because I'm too...
You've went through a lot.
I went through too much, Yeah, I mean...
But it's amazing to see you so, like, I don't know, maybe I wouldn't be as charismatic or like positive as you were. Or maybe I don't know how I would be, because I'm comparing it differently. I'm comparing it to being there, like with my stepdad, helping him out, like doing things I never thought I'd have to do for my dad, my stepdad.
Of course.
Seeing my mom go through a lot. You know, so it's the outside force or the outside perspective rather than the perspective of it happening to someone.
Right.
So you're like, whether you're religious or not, or you're like, someone gave me another chance to continue being on this earth.
Right.
And
Yeah. Well, I thank
for
God
my
every day
wife
for
and
the
for my
opportunities
son.
I've had.
Yeah. So
and like I said,
maybe that's that's the found respect you have, or the found like appreciation of life, you know? So maybe that's why you're more so very like, you're saying like the old Freddie is not here, but you seem very like just appreciative of just being, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it totally does. And, you know, it's like like I said earlier, listen, I am blessed way more than I deserve.
Mm-hmm.
I really am. My son is wonderful. I have a beautiful wife who I absolutely adore more than anything in this world. And I have a second chance. Most people don't get a second chance,
No.
you know? So I honestly, God, I go to bed every day and I thank God for what he's given me and what I have now and what I'm going to have in the future.
Yeah.
Cause I know without him, I wouldn't be here, you know? But, yeah, it's a tough thing. I'm not, the old Freddie is gone, but the new Freddie's not that bad either.
Yeah.
You know? Most people would never know I went through what I did. You know what I mean?
No.
Because I've if you would have saw what I looked like 12 years ago compared to now, I've made a miraculous recovery.
Yeah.
I really
I didn't know about this until I sent you the outline, and you were like, I would like to talk mainly about this because I went through that. You never told me on set. You would never know, you know, because you know, it's just,
that's a fucking downer, bro. It's fucking depressing. It's, hey, by the way, you want to hear?
No, it is, but like, it's also like, it is a downer for sure, obviously, and it's probably something you don't want to keep being you're probably reminded of that every day, just, you know, looking in the mirror. So maybe it's something you're like, I don't want to fucking talk about. But, you know, meeting someone for the first time, you know, especially on film set, you're probably more connecting. Like, what do you like to watch? What do you want to, you know?
Well, I think it's important to share my story because it gives people hope.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
That's what it's all about. Like, I know you were saying, you were asking me, are you going off topic? I don't think any of this is off topic because it's all about what you went through and then coming back and like being very comfortable now in your new and old skin, you know, like your new skin and your new look, so to speak, you know, because only you know and your family knows how you used to be versus how you are now. Maybe some old cast members if you were to work with. But, you know, I think it's important to see, like, and for people to hear, like, your story, because who knows whoever is going to listen to this, who's fighting cancer, who's fought cancer, and is like, I don't feel comfortable going back to what I wanted to do, whether it be modeling or something in the arts, and even maybe something not in the arts, you know?
Well, you can't give up. That's my advice to anybody. You can't fucking give up. You got to stay positive. You have to stay positive. Yeah. You have to. It sounds like a joke, and people are like, well, you know, I mean, how do you stay positive?
It sounds cheesy when people say it to you. Like, if you're going through something and someone's like, stay positive, I'm always like, yeah. But then when I go back and I'm like, man, I'm really like, I'm in my feelings right now or something's going on, then I'm more like, I'm thinking of like I'm thinking of a positivity, or I'm thinking of like a really fun time of something that happened with my friend. Yeah.
You know, it's like people would say to me all the time, they go like, oh man, I don't know how you did it. Or I can never.
You probably don't even know how you did it.
Well,
but you persevered.
Well, you have to.
Yeah.
I would tell people, like, my mom, you know, my mom has this quote where she goes, things will work out because they have to. Yeah. They have to. There's no alternative. They have to work out.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it. You know, things you just got to. People say, like I said, well, I don't know how you did it. What do you mean you don't know how I did it? Because I fucking had to do it. Yeah. I wasn't going to die. Yeah. You know, he ain't going to remember me and nobody's fucking my wife. Mm-hmm. That's it. You know, I got to do it. Yeah. That's it. You know, you have to always have it sounds cheesy, but it's so true. You got to find your why. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Right?
I hear that a lot. It's not cheesy. It's very fucking true.
Once you find your why, you could do anything.
Everything else is
you'll find your how.
Conquer.
You'll figure out your how once you find your why. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's super important, and you just, you know, you just can't. Well, you know what they say, right? No rainbows without the rain.
Exactly.
Right? So you got to fucking do what you got to do. Exactly. Got to make it happen. Man, I love talking to you. I really do, man. Thank you for coming on and sharing your story. You are very welcome, Chris. Thank you for having me.
You guys can catch Freddie in dress code eventually. Whether if Gerard is going to be putting into festivals or on Amazon or anything. You can follow him on Facebook at Broadway Freddie. And yeah, if there's any other acting credits that are coming up for you, we could always I could record it separately, but I do appreciate you coming on. And like I said, the last 2 episodes that we've recorded with one another, just sharing your story and kind of giving people hope that, like, your outlook is definitely inspirational. So I appreciate it, man, for real.
Thank you for having me.
No,
I
man.
really can't tell you how much I appreciate it.
Yeah, and hopefully we get to work together in
I'm
something
sure
very,
we
very
will.
soon.
I'm sure we will.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening to another episode of Where's My Mind, a podcast about mental health and the arts. And until next time, I'm Chris Orangeo. Once again, this is Where Is My Mind, a podcast about mental health and the arts. I'm host and producer of the podcast, Christopher Orangeo. All episodes will be available on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, and Amazon Music. Once again, this is Chris Orangeo, and thank you for supporting.